Good morning and welcome to GrainTV. My name's Cody Bills. This is Brock Shimano. Today is November 10th. Yesterday we had a WASDE report, a supply and demand report. Brock, can you break it down for us? Let's run right through the grains. Corn, bullish or bearish?
Cody, I'm bullish on corn. After the report, we saw a large reduction in the yield forecast.
All right, that sounds good. Beans, bullish or bearish?
Bearish on beans, Cody. We saw a huge ending stock increase.
All right, wheat, bullish or bearish?
I think that's going to be neutral right now. It's going to kind of follow along with what corn and soybeans are doing in the market.
All right, the markets are open this morning. Let's go live on the board and see what the trade is doing.
Cody, it looks like corn is down about 2 cents this morning. Soybeans is down about 8 3/4, and wheat is down 10.5, 6.5 on Kansas City.
You know, I look at the trade yesterday. We're looking at corn. We are still stuck in this range with resistance up around 663. I did not like seeing the fact that it was a slightly bullish report and we were unable to penetrate that resistance. If we can't get up there today, I'm concerned that we're going to start drifting lower here. I'm concerned, really, we got a lot of outside economics situations that are going to weigh heavily on the market. Italy, their borrowing rate popped up over 7%, which is seen as an unsustainable level. When we're worried about Italy, that's a concern here because that's a lot bigger than Greece. We're going to be back after a quick commercial break. We're going to break down the WASDE supply and demand report in terms of corn and beans and what producers need to do. Welcome back to GrainTV. Brock Shimano, can you break down what the WASDE report had to say about corn yesterday?
Yeah, basically saw a large reduction in the bushels per acre average. We saw it move from 148.1, which USDA was projecting in October, down to 146.7. Industry was kind of looking for a 147.9 number. So we came in quite a bit lower than what the industry was expecting, resulting in production change of a negative 123 million bushels. Soybeans, almost the same story, not quite to the extent corn was.
Yeah, it was a sleepy story in terms of soybeans. We actually saw production or yield revised lower 0.2 of a bushel. So really not much of a story there. For soybeans, it was more about exports and slashing the export expectations that added to those ending stocks up to 195 million bushels versus 182 million bushels, which was expected. So that's plenty of beans in this world, and I think that's going to weigh very heavily on prices going forward.
Yeah, as we move into winter, I think we're going to move from a supply situation into the demand situation. And right now we saw, in the WASDE report, we saw corn actually be reduced by 100 million bushels on the feed side of things, almost completely erasing that production loss that we were looking for. So I'm looking at it right now as it's a little bit bearish on the demand side for both corn and soybeans. And exports really weren't anything to shake a stick at this morning. So.
Yeah. Exports for soybeans were decent. It was 600,000 metric tons. We did see China in there, but you know, after putting that into the model, it just doesn't seem to make a difference. The 50 million bushel slash that we saw from WASDE, we accounted for that. We put in the decent export sales this morning, and still we're 51 million bushels behind where we need to be, taking into account the seasonality of sales. Now, I just look at that and say there's a good chance that we're going to have to revise export sales even lower. So unless we see some serious buying from China stepping in with conviction, I think we're going to continue to see competition from the South. and we're going to need to see prices come down lower for our beans to be competitive on the global market.
Yeah, it's kind of actually a different scenario shaping up in corn. We're actually 121 million bushels ahead of where the USDA was projecting. So, you know, I think that's why they left the number unchanged on the corn side of things in this latest report. But, you know, we have other things for corn to be concerned about, such as feed.
Yeah.
What is that going to entail for the rest of the year?
Yeah, I know. And let's just take a look at wheat. I mean, wheat was a neutral story, but we did see global ending stocks actually revise 2.6 million tons higher. We saw higher production in Kazakhstan. We saw higher production out of Spain and out of France in the European Union. We did see that China, there's a good chance that they will end up buying a little bit or importing a little bit more wheat than normal. But, you know, the bottom line here is wheat. We got plenty of it in this world. You know, we got plenty of wheat, and I think that that's going to continue to weigh on prices. That is not the strong grain. Soybeans is not the strong grain. Corn is the only thing really holding us up here, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm right with you, Cody. I think we're going to be grinding slowly higher throughout the next couple months or so until we really get into that acreage battle that will ensue early in the spring. So,
yeah,
you know, I think corn is going to be slightly bullish for the next near term. Soybeans, you know, look out below. I think we're pretty bearish there. But again, wheat, I'm neutral on that.
If you're trying to market corn, I know that you talked to a producer the other day, and you guys outlined a strategy right now that really made a lot of sense to me. Can you just kind of share that strategy that you were talking about?
Yeah, basically what this producer I was talking with, what he wanted to do is a re-ownership strategy with a bull call spread. So what he was looking at doing is selling in the cash market. He sold it for an even basis at harvest delivery, which is pretty astounding, I think, for this time of year to be even on the December contract. Yeah. So he sells in the cash market, saves on his storage. The money that he saved in his storage, he reinvested to re-own on paper. So what he did is he went out and bought some calls, basically where he sold it at in the cash market, and sold some calls above it, about $1. So he left himself a window of $1 of opportunity to gain.
Now, the advantage of this strategy right now is that you're taking advantage of the strong basis right now. Now, I mean, I know a lot of producers out there, you know, they saw $8 corn, they're thinking, gosh, this thing could go higher. And basis right now is a lot stronger than we've seen it. We don't necessarily see the improvement potential to hold corn and improve on basis. So we're saying it's a possibility. You might want to price that now and then re-own it in the futures market.
Yeah, basically he set a floor for himself by pricing in the cash market. He set the basis, he set the price floor, you know, and now he has upside potential of about another $1 or so. So I'm looking at it as a pretty good strategy that he performed there.
You know, to discuss this strategy or any others that may be more beneficial to you, give us a call, 877-472-4607. We'd be happy to go over them. We look forward to hearing from you, and good luck.